What's up, beautiful PHP people? Welcome to the very first episode of Urgent Podcast, a new podcast that was started this morning without Brent's permission. Are you okay with that, Brent?
Yeah, I'm fine. I do wonder, Nuno, what is so urgent about this?
Well, there is no urgency, but we are going to discuss the urgent topics of PHP. So we love PHP, you love PHP too. So, I thought we would make this official, like making this like a real name and a real podcast. We are going to have this on audio and will be awesome. People are saying hi to you, Brent, by the way.
Hey,
Renux,
yeah.
Alexandro, Eva C, PHP annotated, which is you. Yusef, what's up? We are now streaming back on TikTok once again after a while. And yeah, let's just jump straight into the hot topics of today, okay? So, Brent, PHP is about having generics, okay? Or not, we don't know yet.
Or not. Yeah.
Can you just summarize a little bit? What is the current state of generics in PHP 8.6?
What is the current state? Well, we've got dog block generics, right? So they are very helpful. So many people are using them. Static analysis tools are out there. They integrate with the dog blocks and live as well. They are a very useful tool for static analysis, and we just want better syntax, and that's what all of this is about. And the discussion on externals for 10 years now is, PHP is an interpreted language. It does everything on the fly at runtime. There's no compilation step, and that's fine. That's the power of PHP. But generics are not really a runtime tool. They are a very useful tool for static analysis, for when you're writing the code, not when you're running the code. And we want proper syntax, but many people think that if there is syntax in PHP regarding the type system, it also should be checked at runtime, which for generics is just a crazy thing to do. It's so much performance overhead, it does not work. So yeah, that's the state. There is a new RFC. And we'll see. Nuno, I'm gonna tell you, if this doesn't succeed, we're not getting generics. This is
ever.
I don't think so. This is the best. This is what we need. This is
the best generic ever. This is the best RFC ever. Yeah.
The RFC adds syntax for generics and then says we don't do anything with this syntax at runtime except for reflection, which is very, very useful. But we don't do any type checking on generic types. We just hand that off to very, very good and very decent static analysis tools that already exist.
Right. Brent, can you bump your audio levels a little bit? Sorry.
A little bit. Yeah, sure. Here we are. Yeah.
Okay,
Brent's
chat.
voice is low.
It's better now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a couple of things we need to talk about, Chat. By the way, Chat, just go to your chat right now and let me know what you think about generics, if we should have generics or not. So we want to see your opinion on the comments. And, if you're listening to this podcast for the first time via audio, you can also tweet to us at Brent and also Nuno. We want to hear from you. Now, my opinion about generics. So, as you said, the current state of generics in PHP is that we have no built-in feature for that, and we rely on PHP annotations for generics. So we have PHP annotations that were written by tools like PHP Stan and Psalm, and we have been using them. Like, I use generics all the time, but through documentation. Now, PHP never had generics. Like, we never had generics on PHP as a built-in feature. And now we are having this, we have been seeing a lot of RFCs to add generics. And I think all of them failed because there is some serious concerns about generics, like what happens with existing projects, how is the adoption of generics across the ecosystem. And I honestly think this RFC we are seeing right now is probably the best proposal yet regarding generics, just because they are type erased. Now, what means being type erased generics? And for those who are not familiar with the topic, type erased generics means that PHP Stan and Psalm would be able to see those generics on the code itself, and we as human beings we would be seeing generics as well, just like TypeScript. However, at runtime, if the generics are wrong, PHP won't fail the compilation. Okay? Now, this adoption is not something unheard of. Like, Python have implemented generics this way. Are you familiar with any other language having implemented generics this way? I think
There was more. Yeah, I was familiar, and now
you forgot.
I
Yeah,
forgot.
but I think there is another
but
language.
Python is the biggest example. Yeah.
Python is the biggest example, and I'm actually super fan of this idea of type erased generics because Laravel, for example, and even Symfony, their biggest frameworks out there, they would be able to add generics to their current interfaces, and it wouldn't break anything. And I think this is just fantastic as an idea, meaning that it would feel like generics for everyone else, but it wouldn't break existing code. Imagine things like WordPress, Drupal, Laravel, Symfony, everyone implementing generics, but it wouldn't break the PHP ecosystem. You know what I mean? So, WRFC, man, I love this one, honestly.
What people need to understand about generics, is that if you're not used to using a type system and you're not used to using a static analyzer, and that includes an IDE, you don't really realize how much power you're missing out on, because
correct.
We can infer so much information just by looking at the type system. This is actually like a field in mathematics where it's called category theory, where we can just look at code, and based on the type definitions, we can get more information about what that code is doing without running that code.
Right.
So generics add like a whole layer on top of that, like a whole layer of flexibility that, many PHP developers are actually already used to, because we're using generics in production projects, in frameworks.
Right.
The biggest frameworks like Laravel, like Symfony, they are using generics. The syntax just sucks a lot. An additional problem, by the way, with generics these days is that there are a couple of static analyzers, PHP Stan, Psalm, Fan is another one, although it's a lot smaller. Mago is now on the rise a little bit. And then there's PHP Storm as well, who it's also a static analyzer, but at runtime and closed source. But there are these different tools, and they all kind of do their own thing. 95% of the syntax is consistent, but then the 5% of edge cases, they have their own little tags and their own little ways of working with things.
Right.
And these small differences are just because there is no official specification. No one is saying this is what generics in PHP looks like. And yeah, that is kind of a problem. What's up with my microphone, by the way?
I don't know. We are going to figure that out right now. Okay, chat. everyone will going to help fixing Brantia's sound. If you think the voice is okay, type W sound. If you think the voice is not okay, type L sound, okay? And if it's not okay, we're going to fix that right now before moving to anything else. By the way, chat, we are going to talk about Mago, we are going to talk about the pipe operator, composer security issues, actor pattern, and Tempest PHP as well on today's episode. So we have
W sound. I mean,
no, we also have some L sounds here. So let's try to figure it out. I'm going to actually mute the... I'm going to do something here real quick. So my sound is okay, though, right? Can you guys confirm that my sound is okay? It's just brand one is like a little bit fucked up? Okay. Let's fix this a little bit. Yes. Your mic is good. Okay, so I'm going to just basically mute Safari, and I'm going to open Deeper, which is a virtual microphone. And let's see if this fixes the issue, okay, chat? Okay, so 1 second here. So people are not hearing you right now, Brent, but I'm going to add a new audio input. Yep. And then I'm going to add podcast. Done. And this will be pointing to Deeper. And 1 second. 1 second. All right. Can you speak, Brent?
Yeah, of course. Here I am.
Okay. Let me know, chat,
if that it's better now.
Let me know if the sound is a little bit better. If it's not better, we need to increase Brent's microphone levels even more. Still low. Okay. Yeah. Well, so it's not on my side. Brent, can you upper a little bit your...
I can.
Just double it. Just double it, dude.
No, I'm not going to double it. It's like way too loud then. Okay. Something like this?
How is now, chat? W sound or L sound? W sound or L sound? Let's see. Better now, good. Better now, good.
Okay, well, I keep it like this, but I think it's gonna clip like.
No. Honestly, no? It looks good. Yeah. It looks good for me.
Okay.
All right, everyone happy with Brent's sound, and I think like we just discussed about generics in PHP, and I think like Brent, correct me if I'm wrong, but our general opinion is that the RFC looks fantastic. This is the best RFC ever to add generics to PHP. And if this one doesn't work, we probably will never get generics in the PHP history, basically.
if this doesn't work, then I don't think anything will. This is what we need. This is the only viable approach that will work for PHP in a performant way. And
Agree.
Yeah.
Agree. Brent, you mentioned Mago. Okay. By the way, chat, are you guys using PHP Stan, Psalmo, whatever? Write down the chat. We want to see your opinion. I want to know, like, I'm using PHP Stan. I use PHP Stan level max on packages. I use PHP Stan level 6, 7 on web applications. Yeah. I've tried Mago, Brent. I've tried Mago, and a lot of people speak about Mago as being something like fantastic coming to the PHP industry. I have tried Mago in the Laravel project, and I must say, it was just a lot of false positives, basically. Just because we don't have an extension. So, how is Mago working for you, though?
Very well. Very well. So Mago is it's a linter, a formatter, and a static analyzer all in one for PHP written in Rust. So that are a lot of words, but it's really fast. It's still a work in progress, right? It's just a couple weeks or months ago there was the first version of Mago, the first major version tagged released. It's really nice. But yeah, I mean for Laravel. Laravel is doing a lot of weird things internally, which is good. It's just part of the framework. No, yeah,
the creator of Tempest PHP saying that Laravel is making a lot of weird shit.
Laravel is doing a lot of magic underneath.
It is.
Dude. Yeah, so and that's good. It's what makes Laravel. That's totally fine. But like. Laravel has always had like a little bit of issue with static analysis out of the box.
You need to understand, but yeah, it comes with also historical reasons, right? Like historically, the concept of type safety didn't exist even on PHP when Laravel was first conceived, basically. Yeah. But also, like some of the Laravel magic, it's just not understandable in terms of type safety. The type safety first introduced in PHP with PHP Stan and Psalm and everything was very basic type safety, meaning that they would assume that, they didn't support any kind of magic. But now Laravel is better with PHP Stan, and thanks to Lara Stan, of course. And I think
but that's what I mean. You need something like Lara Stan in between as an extension for PHP Stan to make sure that everything works. So if that would come for Mago,
Right.
then Laravel support would be great, and I'm sure you would love to use Mago over PHP Stan. It's actually I find it a lot better.
Yeah, I've been hearing that from people saying that Mago is indeed a much better addition to the PHP ecosystem. I cannot wait until to be like fully ready and to have it like at full speed. I just want to add that people may think like Laravel is a lot of magic. Tools like React or Vue, they're equally a lot of magic. And TypeScript, by its nature, does not support Vue or React. No. They need plugins as well, so it's not that different from that. We have a question from the chat for you, by the way. We have a question from the chat. Okay, so, El Milson is saying the following: what is the one thing Tempest PHP does that made you build it instead of using Laravel? That's a good question.
Well, speaking about magic, I guess that would be the biggest thing. I was so looking forward to using something that was straightforward and just didn't rely on the thing. I want to make something clear. There is nothing wrong with Laravel relying on so much magic. I'm not saying that as a bad thing, right? That's the way the framework evolved, and it's clear that so many people like it because see how successful the framework is. The thing is, me coming from and preferring a more static analysis kind of workflow where I want my code to be properly type checked, to be more strict. Starting from scratch, what I did with Tempest, and then just building on top of the like maybe a bit more modern PHP with all the recent type system changes and stuff like that. It feels more natural to me, but it's not making any any judgment on Laravel for that.
I know, and I also think like building your own framework is always a good experience, regardless of the outcome. Yeah, the outcome for Tempest, it looks like it's been successful, but regardless of the outcome, it's always a good idea to build your own framework. Also to understand like how big and how much useful things like Symfony and Laravel are. If you use native PHP, it's just a fucking nightmare. By the way, we have 100 people watching the live stream right now across all the social medias. Make sure you do one thing, okay? That's the best way you can support my work. You guys see these socials right here? Okay, you just go to all of them and you subscribe my channels. You have Kick, you have Twitch, we have YouTube, but you also have X, TikTok, and Instagram. I am publishing content all the time over there. W100, 100%. Brand, I want to jump into the pipe operator. I want you to be honest with me. I want you to be honest with me, okay? Be honest. What do you think about the pipe operator?
Oh, no. I want to like it. I really do. And I think I will like it more when PHP 8.6 comes with partial function application, where it's just easier to use it. But honestly, I'm using it. And I actually try my best to use it. And when in PHP Storm, there's this inspection that tells me, hey, you're chaining 3 or more functions. Maybe you want to refactor to the pipe operator. So, and then I do that. And it looks nice in theory. But then when you look at the weird syntax that you need to use with the short closures, with the brackets around the short closures, it's in practice doesn't really gain anything, to be honest. And that's what I say with partial function application, which is a feature that will make the syntax you need for the pipe operator a lot more cleaner. It will be better. So let's ask that question next year.
Yeah.
And then see how I think about it. But for now...
You see, dude, you just said something like it really resonates with me, which is I really want to like it, honestly. I love Larry. I actually love the creator of that RFC. I love the idea behind it. But when I compare like the old syntax and the new one, like no way I like the new one. The old syntax just looks much easy to understand, you know what I mean? And, hopefully with partial function application, things are going to improve a little bit on a pipe operator. Although, and while I express my opinion, chat, I want to hear from every single one of you. What do you guys think? Write on the chat. We are going to read every single message, okay? I just think, like, if you need another RFC to make the pipe operator make sense, like, I just think, like, there is so much more things that are important for the PHP, talking, for example, about multi-line short closures, Multi-line short closures are, like, 3-4 lines of code to the PHP itself, in terms of PHP source code, I mean. And for every single one of us will be so useful. Like, we all want multi-line short closures. I literally did a video to the PHP internals, like, as a message. This is what people want. People want generics. People want multi-line short closures and DD on the core. This is what people want. They stop navigating through pipes operators and partial function, whatever. People literally want this. This is all people want. And a beautiful website, if I'm honest. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've been thinking a little bit about this, and I also proposed to the PHP internals to move to GitHub. There's a lot of things we need to talk about here, but so a couple of things. First of all, I think you just said that you agree a little bit with me that the pipe operator is kind of, not a great, maybe something up to discussion a little bit more, or should have been held to a discussion a little bit more. What do you thought about multi-line short closures, though? Like, when I first proposed it like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's already been 3 years. Nuno, we just need it. I mean, I don't understand how it is a discussion. Did you see that there's a new RFC called scope functions that kind of introduce multi-line short closures, but with more limitations? Did you see that? It's
I have not.
It's not voted on. No, the thing with scope functions is that they look like multi-line short closures on first look, but when you then look at how they handle scope and stuff like that, it's not exactly the same. It's actually it's not a closure. It doesn't close over its scope. So it's cool, but probably will also lack a little bit.
Are you super familiar with RFC?
Yeah, I read through it.
Okay, so
last week, yeah.
if I have a collection and that collection relies on outside scope, can I just reference a variable like normal inside without
Yes.
having to do the use thing?
Yes.
Is the syntax as clean as my RFC?
Yes,
I'm
it's exactly the same actually.
approved.
Yeah. So the only thing that differs, Nuno, is if you return such a short closure, which it's not a closure, if you return that from a function and then try to call it, that doesn't work because the short closure you created, the scope function doesn't have access to the inner scope of that function it was declared in anymore. It's a bit difficult to explain without
Right.
visuals, but so it's
Right.
more limited, but actually
It works.
For both use cases it will just work. So it's really great.
Okay. CVT Mal, thank you so much for the subscription. Tier 1, 16 months already. Appreciate your support. CVT Mal, Exanos, Al Milson, Dino Somors. What's up, everyone? Nice to see you all. Brent, you are the GOAT. That's what people say. Joacanito, how you doing? Francisco, thank you so much for sharing that you never used it. And one-line short closures are terrible. Wait, what? No, they are fantastic, by the way. Moving forward, we talked about multi-line short closures. We talked about Mago, generics, pipe operator. I want to focus a little bit of discussion now on PHP security issues and Composer security issues, actually.
Yeah.
So we have seen a lot of security issues on the various ecosystems out there. JavaScript, Python as well now. And PHP, they are coming for PHP hardcore, man. Okay, they are coming for PHP. This is a serious thing, and I don't think people realize how serious this topic is right now. Just the fact that you can do a Composer update and suddenly your AWS secrets, your SSH key, your crypto wallet, like all the stuff you have as important in your laptop can literally go elsewhere across the world and be used against you. Like for me, this should be like top number one priority, PHP Foundation wise. Laravel, Symfony, we should just be literally focusing everything we have on this stuff right now. And we are at Laravel, by the way. At Laravel, we take this very seriously, and we have made a lot of improvements in the past couple weeks in light in all of this. But, Composer is about to... Did you see the article of Composer 2.10? Which feature did you thought that was most useful in this area?
And I think the minimum age release thingy, it's something that's used in NPM as well, where you can configure that you only want to pull in package updates when they have a certain age. And so not pull everything in as soon as it's released, but maybe wait a day or a week or a month even, just to be sure that someone else has run into issues if there are any. That is a very good feature, and so I'm happy that's available now. 2.10 was released last week, I think. So you just have to run Composer self update. So, and another thought I have, Nuno, is that the foundation now, I don't know if you saw this, but they got a grant from the Linux Foundation to the PHP Foundation to actually spend the next 6 months on security as well. And so
Wow.
they have, yeah, they have a dedicated person now at the foundation who's going to just work around security, both in PHP and open source for PHP. So it's really good. It's really necessary. Things are changing so quickly, and yeah, it's a clear consequence of how AI models are helping people discovering security issues, and some of those people are very good, and other people have rather bad intentions. So
Right. That's true. That's true. I also feel like this just shows how weak our open source system was a little bit. You know, like just the fact that some random dude across the world can tag a new
yeah,
release with malware, and
yeah,
suddenly everyone just pulls that thing in. It is scary, and I'm happy that Composer, PHP Foundation, and we internally at Laravel, Symfony as well, we are doing some stuff to make sure we are safe and all of us can
yeah.
be safe. And maybe I will share some of this stuff I have been working on at Laravel in the future. But I've, with Laravel Mode, which is something I've just released, and other stuff I have done, there is a lot of security improvements we have done, like literally. And maybe I will do an article about that topic. But have you tried Mode, by the way, or not yet?
No, not yet. Is it that the Rust tool thingy?
Yeah, so I've written a tool in Rust, which what it does, it just pulls all of this different data from your GitHub account and will tell you what you need to enable to make your GitHub account more secure.
Yeah.
It's actually a very interesting tool. Like if you are not using it, just use it because it's very interesting. And what it does is the following. Like when we look at attacks like, do you saw the 10 stack got hacked, for example?
Yeah. Yeah.
When you look at 10 stack, the problem with 10 stack is that they have a lot of safeguards disabled, like a lot of them. That's why they got hacked. Typically, like to
Yeah.
get hacked, you need to have a lot of they exploit various things at the same time. You know what I mean? So what my tool does is that it makes you enable a lot of different security things on GitHub. So if one of them is disabled,
Yeah.
the hacker cannot go around because there is one more safeguard in place. Even if that one is disabled, there is another one in place which prevents things from escalating a little bit. So it just basically secures our entire organization. So if you have one thing suggestible to exploitation, the hacker can still do anything. And this is what I have learned through this journey of developing Laravel Mode, is that a lot of this stuff that we are talking about is called defensive on depth. Like if you implement safeguards over safeguards,
Yeah.
things are going to just be safe by nature because the hacker needs to exploit a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? Still on this topic, so Composer, as you said, implemented security measures. One of them being the release cooldown, let's call it that way, which is you go there and you say, I just want to pull something that got released more than 10 days ago. In that way, at least every time you pull something new, will have to be on the market already for 10 days. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. Composer also did another thing, which is very crucial in my opinion, which is they've implemented Aikido internally.
Yeah.
So when a package, let's say Nuno, releases Laravel nunomaduro collision will be subject to a deep examination from Aikido, which is a company who detects virus and malware on packages. And if collision tag was tagged with malware, Composer will immediately untag the release, like bam, gone. So this combined with the 10 days thing of cooldown, people will never get malware in their systems.
Yeah.
So great
Well,
stuff.
never say never, Nuno.
Yeah,
Never
yeah.
say never.
Right.
But yeah. And another good thing I like about the Composer changes as well is that they will show like which package authors have proper two-factor authentication enabled, for example, that their GitHub stuff is more secure than the default setup, which I think is a good thing you might want to look out for in the future when you're deciding whether you want to use a package or not.
Right. I just want to add one more little thing here. I will be with Niels, the co-creator of Composer and Packages, next week. And I'm going to interview it for the channel. So if you don't want to miss it out, subscribe to the channel. But I want to go with them through all of these things they are implementing to discuss with them, but also like to propose my solution. My solution to all this problem is not distribute packages if they are not being confirmed through multi-factor authentication. This is what I think will be the nuclear solution, but it will actually work across the entire ecosystem. So package developers, in my opinion, every time they tag a release on GitHub, they should receive an email saying, did you actually want to distribute this over packages? And they say yes. And packages will say, perfect, now give me the two-factor notification from your mobile device. Like, if we have this in place, people would have to hack not only your laptop, but you have to hack as well your device, which is very difficult, in my opinion. So, anyways, very happy about everything we're doing on the PHP ecosystem regarding security, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, some things went wrong, but it's clear that in a very short amount of time, they are now also doing a lot of things right and trying to fix it and taking a lot of good steps, I would say.
Agree. Alex Dabios is saying the following: the ecosystem security team is going strong. I agree. We already reported many things, and we still have many packages to scan, but it's promising. The maintainers are very responsive, and we iterate quickly. That's awesome news. Dimosart is saying, what is your suggestions to hardening PHP applications? I think like you should use Laravel mode is one of the things you should do. Once the cooldown thing is actually out, you can start implementing it as well in your projects. Moving a little bit to the action pattern, Brent, I want to discuss the action pattern with you a little bit. So I recently released a video showing how the action pattern can be useful, but I have many questions, by the way. In the past, you mentioned that you invented this pattern. I want to ask you why.
Because I was solving a real life problem, you know. I was building a kind of a CRM invoicing system for an hotel chain in Belgium here where I live, and we were sitting down with the client, and they were sharing all these use cases, right? And they actually they wrote like a PDF of I think 200 pages of like what the application should do.
Wow.
And yeah. There were these like all these things that should happen, right? Business logic, basically. And we were wondering, where are we gonna put this? Because it was very clearly written in their PDF document, and these were the things that the client cared about, right? They didn't care about whether we stored things in models or whether we used controllers to do like make the app accessible via HTTP endpoints. Like they don't care about all of those technical things. They cared about solving their business problems, and so we wanted to model that as like first-class citizens within our application, so that we could clearly have an overview of all the things that the app could do, basically. Test those things in isolation as well. And at the time, I was reading about functional programming a lot, and I just really liked the idea of having a function, which could be considered a small program on its own, where it gets some input, it does something with that input, and it returns some output, or maybe some side effects, like storing stuff in a database, or I don't know. And I really just liked that mindset, that simplicity of a function. So I translated that to PHP with invocable classes at the time, which were kind of like functions, but then you also had like the class, its constructor and its internal state, which normal functions don't have. And that was pretty useful, because now I could compose actions from other actions and inject stuff into them, which is the dependency injection pattern, which made testing super easy, and composing actions together became a lot easier. And then it just all clicked together. And then
yeah, this is basically, it's not my fault, by the way, it's Streamlabs, but yeah, it will be